In 1994, there were approximately 45,000 Jews living in and around Odessa, Ukraine. But the vestiges of the once vibrant Jewish community had been reduced to a quorum of elderly men. Together, they gathered to pray in the entryway of the last community-owned synagogue. The main sanctuary had collapsed decades earlier. That same year, Rabbi Shlomo Baksht arrived in Odessa as part of an outreach program to teach Jewish culture and values. Over the next few years, he started an elementary school, reclaimed the Great Choral Synagogue, and initiated the rebuilding of the Odessa Jewish community. But in 1997, Rabbi Baksht became aware of the plight of Odessa's abused, abandoned, and orphaned Jewish children. What he learned was that without a safety net, without social services, families were reduced to poverty and despair, leaving thousands of Jewish children to live in abusive home environments, on the streets, or worse, in state-run orphanages. UNICEF reports tragic outcomes for these children. 70% will engage in crimes ranging from petty theft to prostitution and homicide. The suicide rate hovers at 15%. Finally, in a tragic cycle of hopelessness, 85% of the next generation of abused, abandoned, and orphaned children will be produced by these children. No one gets to choose where they are born, whether born into the loving arms of eager young parents or into a home plagued by hardship and squalor. It's chance, not merit, that decides where our lives begin.
It's really hard to describe it. There's nothing like actually being there, seeing it. But when you hear that there are kids living in the sewers, that are out at night and sleeping during the day, scrounging for food, getting into trouble, no parental supervision whatsoever, in some cases an older brother looking after a younger brother.
In response, in 1997, Rabbi Baksht took in his first homeless children, and Tikva was born. Over the next 20 years, Tikva would become home to over 1,000 children. Tikva's children are nurtured on a foundation of values that emphasizes love, Jewish identity, and lots of fun. The 300 children in our care today are integrated into our Odessa Jewish school system, alongside 600 other children who come from intact homes. Over the years, we have developed over 100 different support programs with the objective of giving our children the same chance at life that should be the birthright of every child.
The secret ingredient is being willing to change constantly. I think our willingness to add new programs, to admit if we've made mistakes, and to come back and circle around and then start a new program, I think that's the secret ingredient.
Our goal is to never let our children go to school feeling like they have less. When they graduate from our care, they have the same opportunities as their classmates. When they grow up and start their own families, they have the tools to nurture and provide for their own children in their own homes and forever break the cycle of despair that brought them to Tikva.
I didn't feel like I was in an orphanage. I felt more like I was in just a big family with a lot of siblings. At 6, when I came to Tikva orphanage, all those kids, they took me and they showed me all around, like, this is your bed, this is your closet, this is what you're gonna have, this is dining room, this is the counters. They were introducing me to basically like you moving to a normal home. It was like the biggest dream of my life.
There are very few places where you can actually literally save a child's life. When I came here and I saw the living conditions of the kids on the streets here, I suddenly realized that one can save a life, one can change a life.
Just going back to that moment was one of the butterflies in your stomach, basically, moments.